Hey guys, we're going to sit here and we're going to discuss some bow hunting practice tips. And first, I want to start off with this should be covering a compound bow, but you can use this for longbow, crossbow, basically any kind of weapon that you're using. But number one is going to be, shooting at extended distances. So if you're pretty comfortable at 20, 30 yards, I'd highly recommend, jumping out there to 40, 45, 50, even pursuing maybe a little bit longer than that. Me personally, I'm not a big advocate of taking a archery shot over 40 yards, but I know there's a lot of successful archers out there, that have had some great success at further distances. It's just all about your comfort level with your equipment and how often you're shooting at those distances. But what I have figured out is, as you shoot at those longer distances, 40, 50 yards, you're really going to be able to figure out, what you're doing. Maybe you're moving a little bit more than what you would figure out just shooting consistent at 20 and 30 yards. Along with that, should provide a lot better, stable, consistent shot at those closer ranges. And then moving on from there, I carry all my arrows, all my extra arrows, in a bucket here. I actually use this for two different reasons. It keeps my arrows there. I can put all my equipment in there, but I also use this so I can sit down on it. I'm a big advocate of whether I'm in a blind, hunting off the ground, or in a tree stand. I try to get those shots where I'm actually able to sit down. So just something that, I've strategy-wise, the less movement you have going on, and regardless of where you're at, but the less movement that you have going on, sitting down, you're going to be a lot better off because there's a lot less movement those deer can pick up on. So, again, drawing that bow back, making sure that you've got some great anchor points there. You understand, at those different angles, what your body's going to do, as well as the shot opportunities can present themselves. So I'd highly recommend taking quite a few shots off the bucket. Regardless, I think you're probably going to find yourself in that kind of situation eventually there. The third item there is going to be shooting any kind of 3D courses that you've got. There's a lot of them, Southwest Missouri, Northwest Arkansas, that we attend on a pretty regular basis throughout the years, and have had great success. We get to visit with a lot of guys that shoot across the nation, along with a lot of local shooters. They're just getting out there and deer hunting. But the fourth item is, when you're practicing and shooting your bow, I'd highly recommend looking at pulling that bow back and holding it. So if you can hold that bow between 20 and 30 seconds, you're probably sitting really good. And what this is going to help out on is, eventually you're going to find yourself, if you haven't already, in a situation where you've got a big mature buck, or you got a doe that's pretty much locked on, or maybe maybe that buck is behind a tree and you've already drawn, and you letting down is going to allow a lot more deer around the area, if not spook that particular deer you're after, out of there. So holding that should allow you to get some pretty good practice, and also get comfortable with that weight that you're drawing back. So, if you're not able to, that may be something you need to think about, maybe dropping that weight down. It's all personal preference, but just something to kind of think about there. And then I got two more there. The first one is going to be, as season progresses, actually shooting with your clothes on that you're going to be hunting with. So if you typically hunt out of it with a hoodie, throw a hoodie on. That way, as you draw back and you release, that's a pretty consistent way of shooting. And then the very last one I want to touch on is just shooting during season. A lot of guys will just hammer away, from 2 months prior to season, or maybe all the way through summer, and then up till the week of season, and then they think they're golden. Allowing yourself to shoot throughout that entire season, every single week, even if you're just flinging 3 or 4 arrows, it will be worth your time, and it's also doing the right thing for the deer ethically. You don't know if that sight's been thrown off, or something's wrong with your bow without actually shooting it out there, and just doing it the right way, taking it to the field after you get shot there, you feel comfortable with your groupings there. I think you'll find a extremely better success rate there, not only for yourself but for the harvest of the animal. So hopefully this helps you guys out on some bow hunting tips for this coming year. Like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature, and best luck on your upcoming hunt.